Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. We are home. We are home. We are home. Wow. I miss you. I miss you all. I miss you guys. Happy New Year's. Yes, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody with our little families. May God bless y'all anywhere y'all at. Okay? Italy, shout out. Germany, Switzerland, United States. Hey, I have to go home. Gambia. Mwah. Where's everybody at? Our guest is here. Our guest is here with us. Ooh. thank you, Uncle Vic. Thank you. I appreciate everybody. Y'all come on in. Our special guest is here. Hey, don't be jealous. It's my uncle. Huh? Yes. Oh my God. Italy. I give a shout out to everybody. I miss y'all. Hey, come on. Is our economy doomed? We have our economist here, a special brother. Hey, come and learn. Bring your journal with you with a pen. Yes, our special guest is here. He made it. thank you, Jali. Credit goes to Jali. Yes, Ibrahima, thank y'all. Uncle Vic, I appreciate Keta. Allah baraka. Nko naluntango bijan. Nko cigarette manta tofala. Alkana anyande yalo number ngol munjaile to som bi wonna bim fa ngan jaile samana sonna uncle. Ture, I appreciate y'all. Yes, our guest is coming in. He's an economist, Mr. Nyang Omar Njie. Yes, he made it. He made it. We will learn a lot today. I will open the lines for few phone calls. So join me. Let me bring him up. Yes. Yes, our guest is here. I'm happy. Uncle, you're mute.
Yes, I was mute,
Yes.
waiting for you
Welcome,
to finish.
everybody. Mm-hmm. Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's. Allah barakambal kontonda. Manager Jeff White. Mange nuye from Gambia to Senegal, Italy, Germany. I mean, please, welcome home. Today is another day. We will learn a lot. We are back in the classroom. Yes. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Auntie Anna. Thank y'all, Sam. Welcome. Marong. Ngal kontong. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Allah barakambita, straight to the point. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Uncle Njie. I say
Good
uncle
afternoon.
because
How are you?
I'm good because my mom is Njie. So the viewers might be jealous. Their uncles are not with them today. I am with mine.
Exactly. Pleasure's all mine too.
You are welcome to our platform. We call this platform Grassroots. We are the villagers. We are the grassroots. We create this small platform to learn. It's for education. We like to learn from people, especially about our country issues, politics that are very important. Sometimes we judge things, we hear things, and we send our opinions why we didn't even know what's going on. So we try to bring the right people like you today. You are welcome to our platform. It's for the locals like us, non-educated ones.
Well,
So,
we're all locals.
yeah,
I am
I
proud to be a
know.
local.
I understand. If you are on Facebook, please follow us and like. Send us a comment. Send your question. After mine, we will look at your questions too. If you're on YouTube, give us a shout out too. Uh, Mr. Njie,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Njie, good afternoon in the Gambia. You are welcome.
Thank you
The
so much
platform
once
is
again.
your. Yes, you
Thank
can say
you.
hello to our. You can say hello to our folks.
Good evening, viewers, and good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the part of the world. It's a great good evening in the Gambia.
Thank you. Thank you. So we would like to have a great discussion with you. Our first question, as you saw it on our flyer, is the Gambia's economy doomed? But that will be the last question you will answer. Anybody that want to hear that answer, you have to hang in and hold on. Okay, Mr. Njie, uh, can we know who really Mr. Njie is?
Well, Nyang Jai is just Nyang Jai. Nyang Jai hails from Banjul, born and raised in Fajara, lives in the Gambia, and still want to live in the Gambia, hoping for a better Gambia. I have three siblings, one sister and two brothers, and I have two kids, and married also.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Njai, our first question will be, even though we said our reflection will be 2020, but we cannot go without this question first. Did the coalition 2016 fail the Gambian people?
Well, I think you've asked a very important question. You see, just like when you're doing a division or a fraction, you need what you call an LCM, a lowest common multiple, or a denominator.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take all the political parties in Gambia, the only thing they had in common was, I wouldn't say dislike for Jammeh, but the appetite to make sure Jammeh was no longer. Anything thereafter, they have divergence. And it has clearly been manifested post December 1st, 2016. So what brought them together was smaller than what could have kept them together for the long haul, 3 years or 5 years. So what we are seeing now, none of us should be surprised, because we now know that what of our hunch, basically what we thought, is what has been manifested. Meaning all these political parties, they may have great intentions for the Gambia, but they still cannot do away with the personal issues that they have. And those personal issues is what the greater good of Gambians are suffering from today, because we have deviated from the aspirations of the people. They have put aside what we collectively wanted. So the coalition, I won't say was dead on arrival, but as far as I'm concerned, their primary focus was to get rid of Jammeh. Any other thing, I think it wasn't too realistic, nor was it genuine. Because if it were genuine, most of the issues that they've had, they would have just brushed it under the carpet for the interest of our society, our country, forge ahead. But the fault lines were so evident and the cracks were so evident. So what we're living under today is basically what it is. But I think I also look at the President Barrow, as a runaway bride. Runaway in the sense that the people of this country, through their political parties, vested hope in him. And we all put a big dowry for him, and the dowry is the price of the office of the president. He got the office and he ran away as a bride. So the people who put their money in as dowry are now left hanging because their bride ran away with the bride price and the bride money.
What about those reforms that they promised us? Have we seen any reform made? Those reforms
Well,
they promised us, the
well,
institutional reform. Uh-huh.
well, I think that also is a great question. If you look at the manifesto, what they sold to Gambian is not what they dished out to Gambians. They sold us a very rosy plan that all of us would have been happy to have called the dawn of a new Gambia, because they spoke about security sector reform, a proper constitutional reform, commissions like the Janney Commission and others. Yes, those were good. I wouldn't say they were ideal, but they were noble. But in the execution of those reforms, we have seen how they have sidelined those reforms and how they have created a George Orwell type an animal farm where some animals are more important than others, and that they have created sacrificial lambs. People like Yankuba Toure is one of the sacrificial lambs of this whole process. We have seen a lot of people who have plundered state resources and are still serving and serving at the highest levels. So it really begs the question, is this government serious about the reforms that Gambians wanted in terms of ushering in a new country?
Why do you say Yankuba Toure is a sacrificed land?
Well, I think he was very belligerent during the TRRC hearing. No one is disputing that. And for now, I think if what they're saying, the TRRC, I think they could have really find a way to deal with him rather than, the manner in which they're dealing with him. I'm not rooting for him, mind you, but all I'm saying is I've seen people called in and they have done, grievous bodily harm to people. They have murdered people, and yet still they are serving because the presumption of innocence is still accorded to them. So when Yankuba was called and he acted belligerent, I think the report should have just said, we have called him and he has acted belligerent and we are recommending prosecution. And that would have been at the end of the process, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We have seen the Malik Jattas. We have seen, what you call his name again, Alaji Martin, and many others. So, to be honest, I see him as the example that they make out of the TRRC, even though I may not be a fan of him. And honestly, I don't condone what has happened, but what's good for him is good for others like him.
Under this constitution, the 1997 constitution, I'm thinking he should be free with the, because they have this immunity for the AFPRC, and which Yankuba is part of. Can you hear me?
Well, I don't know how that immunity came into the constitution.
Okay.
First, the issue is not the immunity, but is the validity of that immunity, and also whether that immunity came in through the back door or it went in through due process. That's not for us to say. It's for the constitutional experts and the constitutional lawyers to really determine that, and we will know whether the immunity he's claiming is valid or not.
Okay, great. And he's already charged with murder. We don't know why they charge him with murder. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead to COVID. When COVID saw up. COVID-19. I am so sorry. It's not something that I should be smiling about. COVID has caused a standstill for the entire world, and the people that passed. I am so sorry. I'm sending my condolences to the people we lost 2020. Okay, what is your opinion, the impact you think the Gambia experienced economically?
Well, I can't talk about the economic impact if I don't link it to the social impact.
Okay.
Because they both have a cause and effect. COVID has changed the Gambian economy for the medium term, and that will remain to be so at least for the next 2 to 4 years. Why? COVID brought a disruption of service, especially in the tourism sector, also in the financial sector as it relates to international remittances from our diasporan communities, and also it has created an unprecedented public expenditure by the government of the Gambia. So these three things have done serious harm to the Gambia and the Gambians, by extension.
Okay.
Socially, our safety net as a society is more vulnerable today than it was 14, 15 months ago. Why? Poverty is on the increase. Unemployment is on the increase. Hopelessness and destitution is on the increase. The government of the Gambia has spent significantly, quote unquote, to ameliorate the lives and suffering of Gambians and also try to upgrade our health infrastructure to make sure that we can be well equipped and well suited to deal with the menace of COVID-19. On the economic front, once again, the Gambian economy will really see, a drastic turn because our budgets have grown significantly over the past 16 months.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic debt has grown significantly over the past 16 months. And these effects are yet to be felt because generally policy has a lag effect. But we are now beginning to feel these effects because less than a week ago, we heard that Senegambia Hotel retrenched over 40 odd workers.
Mm-hmm.
That is the beginning of Gambia really feeling the pinch of the COVID pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about, can you walk us through and more about the tourism sector? I heard you say tourism.
Yes, see, tourism sector is one of the most vital and critical sectors of the Gambian economy.
Mm-hmm.
It does three things. One, it employs a lot of people directly
Mm-hmm.
in terms of restaurants, hotels, destinations like Kachikali, James Island, you name it. But
Mm-hmm.
equally, you have other feeder sectors that feed off of tourism. Agriculture, for example, the vegetable gardens, who grow vegetable that's being used in hotels and restaurants to feed these tourists. So the tourism sector has really been dealt a blow, and the blow will reverberate into other sectors of the economy.
Mm-hmm.
But to make it worse, Gambian tourism is externally driven, meaning we don't drive our tourism. Foreigners drive the tourists, people who want to come and visit Gambia.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that one of our biggest major markets is Western Europe, particularly United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen how COVID has ravaged the British or the UK economy. And consequently, a bad British economy is a bad tourism season for the Gambia. So right now, the Gambian economy is highly exposed to what's happening internationally. And if you look at December, which should have been a peak of our tourist season,
Mm-hmm.
we are having few flight arrivals, hotel beds are all empty, restaurants are empty, and that's why we are saying Gambia is in for a long haul, and it's time we find prudent measures to make sure that the little we have, we can stretch it. Equally, the little we have, we can put it into use that will benefit the greater good of our society.
Also, society. I am interested to about the Kunta Kinte history. Since I came to the United States, every year they celebrate Black History Month, and all of the entire month they celebrate the blacks. And Kunta Kinte is from Jufure, Gambia. Economically, are we benefiting from that Kunta Kinte history?
Well, you see, in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Okay.
Money will not come our way because Kunta Kinte came from the Gambia.
Okay.
I will tell you that there is a Kunta Kinte statue in Annapolis, Maryland.
Yes.
To begin with.
Uh-huh.
Equally, in Tennessee, the Haley family,
Mm-hmm.
they have their little museum there about roots.
Mm-hmm.
But the most important thing that Gambia hasn't done to date
Mm-hmm.
is to market Kunta Kinte. Unfortunately, we have a brand icon who represents Kunta Kinte in the name of Colin Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Kaepernick is someone who has been defiant to the system.
Mm-hmm.
And in so defiant, he sees himself as a slave. And he created a brand called Kunta Kinte, by the way. And why is it that the government of the Gambia is yet to engage Colin Kaepernick to not only propel the Kunta Kinte brand, but to make him a brand ambassador for Gambia? Because Colin Kaepernick is a global icon, not an American icon, but a global icon of high repute and high standing because of his moral obligation to racial equality. Therefore, Gambia has had an opportunity to link up with Colin Kaepernick, sign a deal with him, and allow him to be the brand that's going to be the face of the Gambia by way of Kunta Kinte. And that is the responsibility of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture to find a way to do such a thing.
Please tell them something. They are watching us. Tell them something. Tell them. I
Well,
don't know.
I will not tell them what I haven't told them in the past. So it's an exercise in futility.
Oh my goodness, we need that money. I'm so jealous about it. I am very jealous because when my kids are in school, when they have this so well dressed up like African, I will be having my outfit on, my hair tie, and I'll be like, I'm from Gambia. Kunta Kinte is from Gambia. Okay, well, okay. We don't know what is what what is Gambia.
I
Okay.
know.
The foreign minister one time was in the members of parliament complaining, I will say complaining about corruption in the Ministry of Health because of the money
Yes.
that they were allocated with. We were thinking as Gambians that money will be used to upgrade our health system. But what do you have to say about that corruption that happened with our COVID money?
Well, I will not call it corruption because I don't have the evidence that they have used our monies illegally. What
Okay.
I can say is that they haven't judiciously spent our COVID funds, and they are yet to give us a report on how they have spent our COVID funds. The government owe it to the people of this country to show us how our funds are spent, where our funds have been put in, and equally to make sure that they put it into best use. When the Minister of Health stood at the assembly to really complain about corruption in his ministry, that should have been a wake-up call for the government at large, not only the health ministry, but the government at large, especially the executive, to really find ways and means of curbing corruption. Excessive corruption happens in this country, but most of it happens through poor procurement practices, because it's the contracts that you give to people because they're non-competitive, and you can load fat on non-competitive bidding contracts.
What do you say to the GDP that the president said from 6% down to 2.1% due to the COVID?
Well, it's not due
Also,
to the COVID. It is easy to blame it on the COVID. Mind you, COVID happened in February. March, April, May, that's when the economy really started seeing the dark side of COVID in the Gambia. The Gambian economy in 2020 didn't do well and wasn't expected to do too well, for the mere fact that our budget in 2020, the estimates of revenue were too high. But they wanted to spend money, so they anticipated that they will collect so much in taxation. So that made the economy to suffer. GDP had to be revised, and the president at the state opening of parliament stated that we are not going to have a 6 point odd something GDP growth. Two things I want to tell Mr. President. We don't eat GDP.
okay.
Positive GDP or negative GDP, the poor man in Gambia still suffers. Even if the economy was growing, the poor Gambian would have still suffered. So that's not a good barometer for prosperity. What we want the president to understand, help change our health indexes, meaning fewer and fewer women dying in hospitals, infant mortality, people having access to primary and preventive health care, That is what's going to change the Gambian, because you will then have health. When you have health, you will have an opportunity to make money. So GDP, yes, it went down, and COVID also helped, but let us just not solely blame it on COVID. We should blame it on poor policy and an ambitious infrastructure plan set forth by the president to do one thing and one thing alone, to boost his chance of electability, not to make the Gambian lot better.
Lot better. I hope they are listening. I hope they are listening, because this is very important messages. Message you are sending right now. Let's go to the draft constitution, the failed draft constitution. What is your opinion? What led to the failure of this draft, in your own opinion?
Well, I think what happened, you see, the draft needs a sponsor. The sponsor is the government. The government is the executive as it relates to who should sponsor the draft constitution.
Okay.
The draft was left to be an orphan, because the main champion of the draft should have been the president. But unfortunately, the president didn't believe in the draft because it didn't suit his purpose and his interest in perpetuating himself. So the draft was left to be a destitute, and a destitute it is up to today. Gambia has spent significant amounts of money preparing for a draft, only to waste those sums of money, only to go back to the drawing board to find a way out. It has clearly shown the general population that our government, our political class, are not interested in what we, the people, are interested in. So I don't know how the draft is going to be resurrected. I don't know how it will come back to life, but I know for a fact that the president wants this particular term he is serving not to be counted. The president, if he happens to have his way, he will go on a single majority, I'm sure. The president, if he has his way, 2 terms, presidency will not affect him, because this term will not be counted. And for those reasons, our draft constitution has been made an orphan.
In fact, do we need a new constitution?
Absolutely, we need a new constitution, because the 1997 constitution has gone through significant amount of alterations. Equally, the 1997 constitution happened to have things that are very detrimental towards a viable and a vibrant democracy. We have seditious laws in there. We have electoral laws that are bad in there. We wanted to have redistricting in which we don't. We have a simple majority, and there is nothing or no talk of term limits. So we cannot use the 1997 constitution as a way forward in terms of building a new country. You see, the new Gambia needs a new document, and the new document should have been ushered by this transitionary government that has turned to be a full-fledged government with a program.
What do you say to their effort to revive the draft constitution?
Well, I don't think it's genuine, if you ask me, because the effort that the president is putting in today, had he put that effort when the draft was languishing at the parliament, to tell parliament that I support this document, kindly support it, maybe we could have had something different. So like the Wolofs will say, Munuloma rey, beparenga nyo suma dej di join dang ma jale. It's not only hypocritical, it is insensitive, and Gambians know exactly how this draft was butchered and killed. So therefore, anyone from that angle coming to tell us they want to resurrect it, to be honest, is a slap in the face to us, we the people.
Did we need a former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, to come? Was that necessary?
Well, I will not say anything about Goodluck Jonathan, because he is not the problem. The problem is the people who initiated that for him to come. Goodluck is nothing, like the Creoles will say, messenger no been die in a war. I will deal with the message and not the messenger. Goodluck Jonathan is just a messenger. the message is it's not genuine and sincere. So our problem is not Jonathan, and no one should backlash on Jonathan. We should tell the president, why are you doing this now? Why didn't you do this when you had the opportune moment when this draft was languishing at Parliament? But anyway, I don't see headways in this because nobody outside of the president's camp will allow the president to have more than 2-term limits. So he might as well forget it. That Gambians are not going to have it and it's not going to happen. So no, 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 no. So it's not about good luck, Jonathan. It's about what the Gambians want. And what the Gambians want is a constitution that is equitable, a constitution that is reflective of our aspirations and ideals as Gambians.
But do you think that was a good idea to have? Was that fair to him also? In the draft constitution, this we should be counting years that he served, including in the term limit. Was that a fair?
Well, the problem of all this that we're suffering is the president reneging on an obligation. You see, if this country is at a stalemate and a quagmire today, it will be thanks to President Barrow and President Barrow alone. Why? We wanted a transitional program. So in that transitional program, term limits would not have affected whoever is serving currently, right or wrong?
That's true.
That's number one. So he reneged on that. Today, the president is enjoying all the perks and privileges of the office. So why should we not count what he is enjoying, both in terms of legal enjoyment and also other national perks given to him? You see, if you are looking at the Constitution, the president has constitutional supremacy, meaning the 1997 Constitution, if that's what he is using, he may be right. But the president must have conscience and morals to say that any Democrat who doesn't support term limits is not a Democrat. And if he wants to use the back door to be here for 15 years, he doesn't believe in good governance and he cannot champion good governance. Nyune balanga ote sangu fekanga set. So for the sake of Gambia, let him sacrifice and say, I will stay for 2 terms and this one counted. Then I will call him a patriot. I will call him someone who cares about his country. If not, he is just another self-centered, serving, egotistic maniac who wants to just perpetuate his personal self-interest at the expense of all. And we should not allow it, and we should raise hell, and we should do whatever it takes to make sure that doesn't happen. Suñ ndey yi dañ say te yaay ken bootewul leen Daily Observer te génnut fi ndey ken pour ñu war a toog bàyyi ko seetaan ko for him to do such an atrocious act on us and our name and our dignity and pride as Gambians. I am very emotional when I talk about this because he has forgotten from whence the Gambian came and where we have gone over the past 22 years. And his actions are nothing but self-centered and selfish.
But if he, just like you said, if he said no to that, can we bend and said, okay, let's not count this one. Let's go with the 2-term limit. Can Gambians do that so we can get this constitution going?
Look.
If that's the only problem.
Look, the voice of the people is the voice of God. I don't care what laws this country have. The day we say that this is what we want, that's what's going to happen. People power is supreme. People power is God's word. So the president is yet to test the Gambian, and the Gambian are yet to test the president. Let's see how far he will go, and let's see how far we will go. But at the end of the day, people power must prevail. And at the same time, I think there is a lot of, I'm sorry to say this, but it's a fact. The Gambian is ignorant of our rights, and the Gambian is also ignorant of, our responsibility to state. We have responsibility to the state, and the state also protects and gives us rights. We want us collectively to wake up, raise our consciousness, and know that we owe it to Mother Gambia to make sure Mother Gambia stops the looting she is going through, the raping she is going through, the maiming she is going through. She is a bruised and a battered woman, and only her bruise and battering is done by her sons and daughters.
But what would you recommend Gambians to do together? Because our representatives are the ones that voted for it, voted on behalf of our people.
Well, I think what the Gambians can do is simple. We should make noise and raise hell that we want the draft that we have paid over $116 million to be sent back to the assembly for us to have a second take at it, hoping that conscience and love for country will make those people who voted against it to have a second look and look at the interests of this country. History is going to judge a lot of people at that assembly and the presidency in a very, very, very nasty way for them looking at self rather than looking at the collective.
Collective. Okay. Did we invest any money on good luck Jonathan coming into the country? Because Gambian taxpayers' money should not be spent on him. That's my opinion. What is your opinion?
Well, my opinion is, from what I heard, the initiative from the executive is driven by International Ideas. It's an NGO.
Okay.
But my take is Goodluck Jonathan is just an arbitrator, a referee. So this thing is still a Gambian thing. It's Gambians who are going to decide how they're going to live, how they're going to be identified, and how they're going to be governed through their constitution. So let us look inward, and looking inward is looking back at the assembly. It's only the assembly who can make this thing happen. The assembly killed it, and the assembly can resurrect it. Unless the president wants to send another draft constitution again to the assembly to look at, which they will have to look at it. But the current one we have, it's only the assembly who can resurrect it. But it can only happen when we have a conversation that is genuine, when we have a conversation that is sincere, and when we have a conversation that is to the best interests of the greater good, not for vested interests of a few.
Mr. Njie, 2021 election is very close. Do you think we still have enough time to work on this constitution?
Where there is a will, there is a way. We can expedite the process, we can fast track the process, and we need to make it happen. But there is no pressure from the general public, because either the general public are unaware or the general public are indifferent to their personal plight. For me, any and every Gambian must be very serious about making sure that these things happen, and it happens for a good reason, and that is to bring back the draft and make sure something good come out of it.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to, oh boy, time is running, we can't, oh boy, we're gonna keep you more. Hey, Facebook, I know some people came in late. We have a special guest. I'll call him my uncle, so don't be jealous. Mr. Nyang Njie is in the building today. We are going through the past. So the 2020 issues, burning issues in the country right now. So if you're on Facebook, please send us your comment. Like us, follow YouTube, send us your comment. Mr. Njie, let's dive into the 2021 budget. Gambians complain that that's the largest amount of money tabled for 2021 budget. What do you think?
Well, you cannot talk about the 2021 budget without looking at 2018, 2019. Why?
Okay.
The Gambia, under Adama Barrow, decided to do an ambitious infrastructure plan, and this infrastructure plan is not backed by donors, but it's backed by local funding. And unfortunately, the local funding is not revenues that we have collected, but debts that we're going to take to pay for these. And that's why if you look at the Banjul rehabilitation roads, you look at the Nyomi Hakalang, someone like Nyang Njie is very against this, not because I don't like development, but development needs to come incremental. You cannot just, you can't leapfrog. You can't go from 0 to 100 in development. If wishes were horses, all beggars be riding. I wish all roads in Gambia are paved. I wish all nook and cranny and hamlets of the Gambia happens to have electricity, running water, and good schools. But that is my economic wish. My economic reality is what I live under, and what I live under, I cannot afford it. Therefore, I need to program myself over the medium term to achieve all of this. So 2021 budget basically is paying for things that were signed in 2018, 2019, these major contracts. And we will continue to pay for this for at least another 6-7 years, first directly through the budget, and the repayment will be paid over a period of minimum 14 years, meaning the child today that's 7 will pay when he turns 21 for the roads that are built in Banjul. That's very unfortunate. And it's all done for the electability of one man. Because if you want to fix Banjul, there's more to Banjul than just roads.
Can you talk to us about this Banjul project, because it's among his development? Can you walk us through that Banjul project?
Well, never say it's among his development. It's amongst your development. You are the one paying. He is the one executing.
Okay.
So
he's claiming for it.
It's your development. You are the one paying for it. The Gambian is paying for it. So yes, like I said, the contract is over $37 million. Initially, the contract was that the contractor should be paid over a period of 5 to 6 years, at least about $350 million is a year, plus variation. So give and take $400 million is over a period of 5 years. And guess what? These are monies that we don't have, so we're going to borrow. And that borrowing is bad for our economy, because the more we borrow, the less we will have to spend on agriculture, health, and education, because we have what you call domestic debt repayments. And debt servicing is now over little less than 30% of our overall economy, our overall budget, sorry. So it is scary, and it's something that we need to worry about as Gambians. What kind of an economy is this president going to leave us once he leaves office? And he has said something, but he didn't know why he said it. He said he is sorry for whoever is going to replace him, because that person cannot keep up with the pace of development that he is doing. But what he didn't know, he should have said to Gambians, I am sorry for the person who is going to clean the mess I'm going to leave this country in, because he has borrowed more than our earning capacity to pay back.
Are you worried about, reports have emerged that Jammeh, 22 years, left us with a budget of 47 billion, and Barrow, 4 years, is 29.5. Are you worried about that? Or analyze it for us?
Well, I'm not worried. I'm not worried in the sense that we have been going through a transitional program. We paid for, well, partially we paid for TRRC, the Janneh Commission, and many other things. And those things were factored into the budget. So my only worry is the ambitious infrastructure plan he has embarked on, and embarked on it on debt. You know, it means like you happen to have a child who turns 25 and wants to get married. You have $0 in your bank balance, and yet still you went to Kairaba Hotel, rented the hall, took monies, and happened to have a big reception for him. That's basically what we're doing. We're living beyond our means as a nation, thanks to our president and his group of enablers who are enabling such a thing to happen.
What about the amount they allocate for agriculture, health, and education from the 2021 budget? And the amount they allocate for the president's office?
Now, people, I mean, in all fairness to him,
Uh-huh.
In all fairness to him,
Uh-huh.
that's why I tell people, Nyang Njie is highly political, but I'm not partisan.
Uh-huh.
So I will cut the president a little bit of slack on this one. What
Okay.
is that slack? The office of the president means Women's Bureau, the
Okay.
vice president's office, the
Mm-hmm.
NIA. All these offices fall under office of the president. So people should not just assume that all those funds are going for his expenditure. Oh no, that's not what it is. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
health, education.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see the actual figures because there is one thing called our budget
Uh-huh.
and there's another thing called projects.
Project. Mm-hmm.
If you know the amount of monies over the past 10 years that have gone to agriculture through projects, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's IFA, IDB, ADB, World Bank, AU, ECOWAS, um, La, FADEP, Last Step, whatever you call them,
Mm-hmm.
so many of these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much money. The problem is, are we using all these monies and putting them into good use? If you look at our budget,
Mm-hmm.
the tax-paying Gambian is not putting much into agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean our agricultural sector is lack of funds. Our agricultural sector is one of the richest sectors in this economy as it relates to funding. The
Mm-hmm.
only problem is the funds are not adequately used to the
Used.
best interest of the Gambian farmer and the Gambian economy.
Gambians are screaming about his salary. 250,000 and 100,000, almost 100,000 for his daily.
No, no, that's not salary. I think we need to be fair with him once again.
Okay.
That is his allowance for food and household maintenance. And that doesn't include electricity, cars he drives, or nothing to feed himself. And even the president should not allow himself to have that. It's morally wrong. He should look at the average Gambian and look at his lifestyle, whether it commensurate with the people who are paying those tax monies that he is using to have that lifestyle that he doesn't warrant to have.
What do you mean it's not his salary?
No, no, that's not his salary.
The
You see,
250?
no, no, no. The you were talking about the hundred and fifty
100,000.
thousand.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
That's not his salary.
that's an allowance. That's part
Okay.
of his package, but it's an allowance. But that allowance is unconscionable. He should not allow it to happen if I were in his shoes.
But people say food. We say food. Is there allowance? well, well, I say we say food, so we need food ourselves. So if the president is taking on, we, Mr. Njie, you are defending him on this one. 100,000 is not just allowance. There's food for chicken box of chicken, and I'm just kidding.
Well, like I said, morally
Mhm.
is wrong,
Yes,
and I would have expected him to tell whoever provisioned that amount for me, I don't need this.
that's too
But then
much.
again, it depends whether he has conscience. That's for him and his conscience to decide on, not me.
White House here, the president. Well, I'm not comparing because our presidents here they are not broke. They're a bit well off. So, but they pay for their own food.
Well, the White
So,
House is a hotel, by the way. Let me make that clear to you.
okay.
The president of Canada gets $3,000 a month for grocery allowance.
Hmm.
The president of the United States, if I am invited today at the United States White House,
Hmm.
my food bill will be sent to the president and it will be deducted against what he is owed by the federal government. If he exceeds what he is owed by the federal government, he will pay out of pocket.
Hmm.
So you pay your way at the White House, but
Yes.
the Gambian State House, we pay his way. And that's why I said, where is his conscience? Where is his morality? And where is his moral compass as president to say that these taxes I'm using today have been collected from poor mechanics, poor tailors, poor
Hmm.
farmers, poor traders, and my lifestyle should not be on their backs and their sweat and tear.
What do you say to loan, the loan scheme that the MPs we're trying to pass. What is your opinion on that?
Well,
The loan scheme.
my take is very simple.
Can you hear me though? Can you
Loud
hear
and
me?
clear. I
Oh,
can hear you loud and
thank you.
clear.
Okay,
My
thank you,
take,
thank you.
my take on the loan scheme is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, it's morally wrong because they have less than a year and a half to go.
Okay.
And unless they don't exhaust the amounts, number one. Number two, if they wanted that, why didn't they go to the banks and get a loan and back it against the gratuity that they were going to get at the end of their tenure? Long and short of it,
Mm-hmm.
public service is to serve the public, but not to serve yourself. And we have seen a lot of public servants serving themselves at the expense of
Mm-hmm.
the public that they should have been serving.
All right. But it's not. It shouldn't be. Apart from morally wrong, but they have the right to it too, right?
No, no, no. Look, it's a discretionary power that they use. A right is something that is put in black and white,
Uh-huh.
either by the Constitution, which is
Uh-huh.
the supreme law of the land,
Uh-huh.
or the rules of the House, which should have been adopted and voted into. And those never happened. So basically, it was a discretionary power of coming up with a bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that emanated. So it wasn't something that was put in black and white. But that's why I said, even if it's legal, sometimes we need to look at the morality of it.
Okay.
Abortion is legal in certain place, but others look at the morality of it and don't engage in it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we want you to explain briefly GPPA, Gambia
Hello?
Public. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I said, can you briefly explain to us GPPA? Okay, we lost him. He will come back. Please share. We are just having a review, and it's very important. We like to hear his view. That's Nyang Njie. I appreciate everybody taking your time to come in joining us. I will open the line. You guys give me. We will just go over a few things. We're looking over a few things. Then I will open the line. Okay. You guys have the opportunity to call. So save the number. Save the number. When I open the line, you can call in. Save the number +1 if you are outside the country, 678-390-0539. I will open the line, but give me just a minute. There's three questions I have, so we will know what to. Yes, thank you. Mr. Njie.
Yes.
Mr. Njie, GPPA, Gambia Public Procurement Authority. Give us a brief explanation about it. We lack the knowledge.
Okay.
Yes, we don't have
Well,
the knowledge of this regulation.
yes, Gambia procurement, Gambia public procurement was enacted by law, and it replaced the Gambia Major Tender Board.
Okay.
Major Tender Board used to have really take care of all major procurement of the country. The intentions are noble, it is good, and it's to help reduce wastage by making sure we have competitive pricing, is to make sure that our procurement procedures and systems are very transparent. But laws are as good as the very people who execute them. So Gambia GPPA, I think it can be made better, but it's a good starting point.
The reason I ask, because we seems to see Gambians losing contracts to foreigners, non-Gambians, I'm sorry, using the
But
word
there's nothing
foreigners.
wrong with that. You see, I am Gambian. I want to support my fellow Gambians, but I'm just not only going to give you a job because you're a Gambian. You need to have the skill set. You need to have the experience. I think we cry foul too often and we raise the flag. They gave the job to a non-national. I wish we have competent Gambians to do a lot of things that we outsource out there. the Gambian also need to upgrade their skill. The Gambian businessman need to also grow their businesses.
Okay.
There are certain type of businesses today or contracts you cannot give it to a Gambian company because they don't have the right equipment. There is no Gambian company here today that I consider a homegrown Gambian company that has all the good equipment needed to do serious road construction, not back streets, but proper road construction, because they don't invest in heavy machinery and plant.
Oh, but this order, our identity, Similex. A Gambian was doing the job first before we give it to the Europeans.
Well, that I think that is a special case of itself.
Okay.
That is a service that a Gambian could have provided. So I don't understand why it wasn't given to a Gambian. But I was looking more into heavy public works, building bridges, building roads. I am yet to see a local indigenous Gambian who happens to have the equipment needed to build a bridge or do a serious road construction in the Gambia.
Should we entrust these people with our information?
Well,
the ID?
I will refer that to the government because I don't know Semlec. So I hope they have done their due diligence. But the little I know, based on me doing my due diligence online, Semlex is a company that's questionable based on their track record in other African countries. Therefore, I would not have dealt with them if I were in their shoes.
Yeah, our information is very important. Okay, let me take you to taxes. The government, when they came in, they increased taxes. That has led to some companies to collapse, like Julbro. Was that? What do you think about that one? The taxes.
Well, the collapse of Julbro is beyond taxation, even though tax is the nail that was hit on the coffin. The final hit on the coffin was the taxes.
Okay.
Julbro is the only brewery in the Gambia, but because of our open trade policy, Julbro has been faced with fierce competition with imported beer from all over the world.
Okay.
And coming in way cheaper than Julbro. So Julbro has suffered, and also their soft drinks. They have suffered significantly at the expense of canned drinks and these Maza, Don Simon, and others. So they have been suffering for over 10, 12 years because of the openness of the Gambian economy to foreign goods. So now, while suffering quietly, the government put in an additional levy, tax, or whatever you want to call it, and that became the death of Julbro. But one man's meat is another man's poison. The death of Julbro became an opportunity for a factory in Senegal called Flag Castle. And today, Julbro is made there and brought to Gambia. What a shame. Made in Senegal, a Gambian product made in Senegal, brought to Gambia and sold to Gambians. But hey, there's not much we can do because there is free trade, not only the Africa Free Trade Agreement, but the ECOWAS agreement and also the Senegalo-Gambian agreement. So there is nothing wrong with that. It's Gambia who fumbled, it's Gambia who missed an opportunity, and it's Gambia who, shortchanged itself. So we shouldn't blame anyone for what's happening but ourselves for bad policy. And the bad policy is overtaxation and the openness of our economy.
What about the unemployment? What do you say to the government? These people that were working there, now they are unemployed, adding to the people that were not employed before. So it looked like we all collapsed together.
Well, it's even beyond the people. That's the direct loss. You have direct and indirect loss. Look at how many bars, restaurants were selling Julbro. Look at the middleman that was buying the beer and soft drink from the factory, selling it to these restaurants and bars. They have all lost income. So it's a total loss it's a negative loss to the economy. The economy has suffered significantly, and that effect is yet to be felt. And mind you, Julbro was one of the last manufacturing/production companies in the Gambia because Sankung Silla is literally dead. Said Mutara is no longer. So Jules Brew was holding the fort as it relates to manufacturing and processing in the Gambia at that scale, that big scale.
Yeah. What do you say about our resources? The Chinese, they are out there. EU, they get our seas.
Why blame those people? Why don't we blame? Oh, I don't have a problem with anyone taking my resources. I have a problem with people that should be protecting my resources and not giving them away. Like I told you earlier in the show, in life you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. So the Chinese only happens to have a want, what they want, wood and fish, and they happen to have dollars. It depends whether we are cheap enough to be induced to take their dollars, or whether we're going to say no. So the problem is not the Chinese, it's us, the Gambians.
What should the government do? What should they do?
Well, I think the first and foremost, the government need to have what you call a sovereign wealth fund. And in this sovereign wealth fund, we will put monies from our natural resources, i.e. petroleum, fish, wood, whatever that is owned by the collective. We put it there. And once we put it there, we invest it. And in this investment, we can do infrastructure infrastructure projects, and also save some of these monies for future generations, because what we are selling is a depletable asset. And the Gambians who are yet unborn, they happen to have a share in those resources. So we should just not use it for our generation. And the only way we can do that is to come up with a sovereign wealth fund whereby all the proceeds of our natural resources go in there.
Wow. Okay. What do you say to? I'm about to open the line. Hey, hold on, everybody. Hold on. one more, two more questions. What do you say to? He's coming back.
I'm here.
Our oil. We have
What
the
do I
government.
say to? What do I say to our oil? I don't know whether we have oil or not.
Okay.
So there's not much I can say about the oil. But what I want, what I want is for us to have a very good oil policy that will make sure that this government doesn't use all the proceeds from oil to spend, rather come up with the Norway model, whereby the resources go into an investment vehicle called the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And this investment vehicle will manage all the resources and periodically give loans to the government to do projects. And also, I will like us to have what you call a local content law, whereby Gambians can meaningfully partake in oil exploration, so that outside companies coming up with their billions will not be the only people taking advantage of the oil, but we will have Gambian entrepreneurs to partake in oil exploration.
Senegal, they say they have discovered oil. Guinea discovered oil. How come we don't? Ours is not disappeared, because they say
I
it
don't
was
know whether it
discovered.
disappeared. I don't know whether it disappeared or not, but I know that Gambia has been going through exploration, and exploration basically is fact finding.
Okay.
We are yet to drill one well that has produced oil for the Gambia. Therefore, as I know, based on what my government told me, we don't have oil at the moment.
We don't believe in that, but they need to check more and more. Dig in. Let them dig in there. Currency. Our currency. The dalasi. The inflation of the dalasi. Is it because our economy is not good?
The problem is not the dalasi. The problem is lack of productivity, lack of exports. For any currency to be meaningful, for any currency to have strength, it must be underwritten by value. And that value is what you sell to the outside world.
Okay.
Our currency is weak because we don't produce. Our currency is weak because we don't sell stuff to the world.
Right.
So let's start looking inward, create value, and then and that value will strengthen the dialysis.
Okay. We have land issue. It's a burning issue. Land. Let me play this video, just an example. Tarangel. Let me play this video if you don't mind. I would like everybody to see this video. I picked this I want everybody to watch this video. We have land problem. It's unborn.
Uncertainty has returned to Tranquil. Scores of people living in this small town near Bruford have over the years been on a knife edge as a huge row over a vast piece of land continues to rage. The land is being claimed by a white man who is said to have acquired it many decades ago for agricultural purposes. But somehow people who lived here acquired plots of land and built their houses on them.
I buy my land here. It's almost about starting from 2005. Try to develop it. During the process, I discovered that there is a problem happening in this area, and the previous government, we have already informed them, the former government, and they brought us together to the police headquarters. We talked to the police. They did their investigation about the whole issue. How do we acquire our lands? And they did their investigation. The police talked to us, and they report the matter to the president, and the president created a panel. So, and the panel did their investigation, report back to him, and they decide to give us our lands back. This is the time, we start to do our developments. So, as long as this new government comes into power, I was not here at this time. I was in Europe. I was informed that these people came here, and they decided to evict us, from our land again.
Person have any documents to prove that he in fact was the original owner of this environment?
Yes, I have no idea about that.
So did Jame ended up giving the person any confession?
Yeah, he refused. You understand? He refused. You understand? Okay, but Jame told him, if you refuse, I cannot evict my own citizens from their properties and give it to only one person. You understand? Then I think he left the country, but now he's not even in the country now. It's one of his friends by the name Barry, yes, who's following the mat at the courthouse. Yes.
On Thursday, an eviction team from the Sheriff's Division came to Tranquil accompanied by police to evict residents. Hello, sorry, good afternoon, sir. We are told that you are from the Sheriff. Do you mind saying something?
Yeah, we are from the Sheriff Department to evict one Mr. Nyang Omar.
So, with profound respect, I'm an ex-officer and I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I would ask my people to be law-abiding citizens too. So if you give us a little bit time, all will be set to light. We all do in the interest of justice. This is our motherland. So with profound respect, sir, I will talk to my people to behave, and we wait for the higher authorities, because our lawyer is already heading towards Banyan, and I believe in 30-45 minutes we will get the results. It's the court that brought you here. It's the court we wrote to. You are not part of the players. You're part of the enforcement officers, which we respect. Without you people, we cannot be here. The nation cannot be at peace. I have served on the force for 12 years, and I left honorably. I'm right now working as a human resources manager. So I will do everything in my powers to make sure nobody misbehaves. Sure. But please, with profound respect, allow the law to take its precedence.
But these people say they are not moving out of their houses. What is happening right now?
I think it's very disappointing. As a Gambian, you just can't walk into people's house and then evict us based on zero grounds. I spoke to the lawyer. He said he's representing a client. So I said, I have nothing to say to these people. Then I'm going to get a lawyer that is going to talk to their lawyer directly. Because we have our authentic papers. Everything is correct. So it's just not okay that over 22 citizens of the Gambia own the houses here.
Okay. Mr. Njie.
Yes.
Okay, I played this video just to give an example. Land issues, 22 compounds. I know they're in the courts and and they are working on it. But the reason I play this, I want you to reflect on land issue. Gunjur, Salaji, everywhere in the Gambia almost.
Well, land is a ticking time bomb in the Gambia.
Okay.
And I think land will be one of the most contentious social issues that will plague Gambia in the coming years. And the failure of land management and land administration, that we are now seeing the consequences of the failure of land management and land administration. This particular case, I sympathize with the people who built their homes. But the first principle of law is called caveat emptor, buyer beware. It's the responsibility of the people who were buying to do their due diligence to see whether that land was encumbered or owned by someone else. Whether it's owned by a Tubab or a Gambian, that's not the case. The dispossession of people's property is wrong, point blank, period, and simple. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
Fundamentally, the Westerner or the Tubab legally owns that title. And no one should encroach on his property. So therefore, I think the owners of this property today can sue the government of the Gambia for giving them documents. The government of the Gambia gave documents to these people without checking whether that said property was owned by someone else. So I will not go after the Tubab if I were the owners of those properties. I will go after the government that gave me a document that is invalid. Because in a nutshell, those people who built homes there, they have built homes with documents that are invalid. Invalid in the sense that government gave you title on top of someone else's title. So I would blame the government of the Gambia, not the Tubab who owned the land rightfully and was sold by someone else without his consent. He needs to have what it is. You see, in life, it's easy when us Gambians, we always point foreigner, foreigner. We are also foreigners in other places. And do we want to be treated the way we want to treat that Tubab? The mistake, the problem is on land administration. And land administration falls under the local government and the central government. So those land, quote unquote, complainants should go to the government for redress, not the Tubab.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a caller here. I want to join her in. Women are crying and they are screaming loud in the Gambia. They have this foundation called Gambia Women's Life Matter. And I want to join Malin Cham with us to give us a good explanation about it. We're going to do it in the local language. Malin.
Naam Binto sumole.
Nkoto Italian. Mbe Binto Bantaba Network viewers will be welcome la ninna guest la bijang min keta na koto keti nyanjai. Bare dalilo mi ati nange samba na musol be nyuuro minna ibe kumbola. Ni ekonoma ya ke Gambia e ka folo ko nyuode ngamiran to mbitala ibe mbade la nyinne kan. Laftal la Nyum Foundation or London Minketa Gambia Women's Life Matter.
Okay, ngamol be kontong an ninja na ya def malambali. Okay, ngali be kontong.
Can you hear her? Can you hear her?
Women's Life.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear her loud and clear.
Yes. Gambia Women's Life matanga alo nyina kamabiri ngaje ko as mobe ya jela. If you are in my Facebook, a lot of people are dying for wulu wala kuwala musola nyu wulu kuwa mi alonko. Some of them is like musoli ibatari wala kana lopitano to niya jeng ko ibatari wala kana. Sometimes ni muso tata suwo kona ka ke maile ko wala family member ko doctor kon kana do ko ke doctor kon kana nyindomo. You know they torture them. Some people, they are even scared of telling their husbands these stories. And it's true because sometimes doctor ko muso balalal even jack. Number two, fanang ngake dalilo min kama wolom nyintiko. Mol be fa kan doctor la problem o yin and no so la problem because we have a lot of cases since ndolanga yin start about 3 cases me along ko they should be here with us but if fatal because of wrong blood or they forget to give them the blood. That is something it could be avoidable. War is not okay at all. You cannot tell me you forget to give somebody blood. This is their life. So, and then some of them too, a problem or they release them from hospital. How can somebody have 3 babies, premature baby? After 6 hours, you send them, you say, model larong fatally, you have to go home, make sure let the hair not touch them. No, that's not the mother job. That's you no so wo matola do quality ni wo muso nyim fatale mala yelo check almala fenke atole wo fa because I have I am having pain. No, ibe seilale.
So niko iko nyinata yelolale. So we're talking about negligent.
Absolutely.
No so le nyinata yelola for muna neko nyinata.
No, they contact me that they sulata yelola. So luckily I have somebody who go there like by before 30 minutes. I yell back somebody and the person take a picture and send it to me. So what I do after 24 hours, I will do follow up.
Okay.
So when I call this her mother number and the mother told me that no, they did not give us any blood. I'm like, what do you mean? She's supposed to have blood. No, in my yellow didn't tell her. Because mero nying atulo man diya ba nka mbalali mo dina ni idea so ay sunguto do dina ako ay sa jamila tu ako nyoko to nyalo nyi afale sulata bulot la bara alla mo le bulot min na fe ma dinka let me talk to the nurse nka ko nurse ako nka na def mallam bali ngambe no men sa ako nye he wow ki dafa wara am bulot wa ñu dañ fat nka da nga fat giving somebody blood. If it is in America, you are going to be in jail. So ako nyam nga yen so len ko len abroad dañ dé sona suñu liggéey bi dañ ko job lot legi before 3 hours she died.
She died after okay.
She died after 3 hours because she was supposed to have your blood immediately, but they forget to give her the blood. The blood was there.
Okay, niko wrong blood. Ilafta falanye wrong blood type le diala from the blood bank.
Yes, that's a person from Sukuta to me and Tolfanan call Akasulata Yelola. It all control she's O positive.
Okay.
So Tolanga Moki O positive Kiji. Italy O opposite see Yarafan America O opposite she was A positive. So she died. Because the wrong one was there. So but what the person who does that Banjun Health Center or Baile. But she should be on the jail because right now, at every seeing our family, this poor lady lost her family. They lost her.
Okay, so let me give a brief mbatunga brief understanding di mola maybe purni a call can sa understand. Okay, blood type nga O sotole o e plus sotole a negative soto. So negative wala ka universal wala ka yellow dino mo belan. O positive waka dino mo jamal fanan nale. But O positive jaman tolumo fingol na O positive siatale. So ye A group soto, ye B group soto, ye AB group soto. So nyun group lulol wolle be blood bank. Wolle be nga wolle soto. But yellow fanang niya doku antibodies fanang katarajel. But mbaling ikanyi yellow min anin sasal ikanyi min tating immediately. Ibuka ka friju kono ibuka test mone niya dila tenting. Wo fanang buke batande ba?
No, ibuka dila immediately. Tolo kaminke wolo nyinti ko ni iko ita yellow nyine. Wala na nyi wrong blood sol kana tenting. Akatala yellow ba ma buri bul frijo kono already.
Okay.
So ika wo yellow nyine use. Itenata yellow mi fena. But me kaka problem oti ni tolo nga yellow nyine fanang ni amari tata je because modo fanang fatal because of that situation.
Okay.
Yara mano nyimbira anatana. Itolo ni inata yellow fanang even women's life mother give you yellow you still need $100.
Okay.
Puri tole wo yellow ni malo $100 ni I don't know what they use it for.
Okay.
But you have to pay that and you have to buy your own bed sheet. You have to buy your own soap. So if you don't have this stuff with you, muso nyinsa sino laran kana without bedding or jela famo. Now in the picture from social media they say ladies, many of them sitting without bed sheet. Wo famo muku rangola tibinta. I don't think tola man sakunda nyenta fola. dara bole be min kelan tolla musol la ranka musol ka batale musol they are doing everything. So why can our government just buy bed seat and in safuno ani benda ngo nyenta nyi musol karala minna itolle kasa nyinga nyim problem also da banko ka.
Okay. So ni fenkata tenti be konoma ya la tenti. Muna ne ka fo yellow fenkata fo ibuke test. Ibuka na nos kaje ko itoli yellow konoma ya kone yellow talata.
Yalo nga nyim problem also to juma because ni model ntolke diamo like to sensitize them. But dol fanan coming for because even 3 days I have a cases me along ko muso ta to loptano to aya dingo burle kono bala. No so nata kai ko atoli tu al dingo burla ite jibe man kende dingo man kende kono bele so muso nyimbe kumbola mol kon.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes ike tocho le so much so that they are scared of going to hospital. Nyim problem wol be na musol kam because ntol ni kadi amule individually mi alon kon kela moy sondo mola nkale ka fuko nin ta loptano to ningan dimo buru nkam malule because no so kanyin la fany nyi kanyin la fany so na society nyin kono we should change our attitude towards the pregnant women. They are women be like us ntol la jang do be sa dingo so ko ya decide ko laftan dingo na do fa ka fula nute dindo so mo be kontaan ne fe. Why can't you guys be happy for them instead of nge tocho amam beteya because morning kono bala fanga ka sensitive bakel so wait all lopitano tete no so mi yaron ka jikite tela ay futete lete ka iba abuse kam because ni molet
so niko discharge ya mari bula junale musomi yet sabandingol soto ya bula 6 hours later. So ite mine mira oto inyanta mine kela
because akema ya kona press conference fonto ya interview jele muso ni ma check imala bulot check imala fencheck itolo ko larango ni na fata abitala because modo le nyanta la fenkel so yemin faalo ni to ako barinte dingol man sikai dingol moro funto ko ne fon ita jikando ko you are going to be okay bira futo so ko na ka ke mai ko murundi loptano to man kende nyala kam mini balo kan dim so akema ya murundi loptano to banjunundi the same thing ya ikai ko tolta mutano la jang so akema decide aya sama canifing hospital bira ya samba canifing wotumo abalo so yelo baban kan abalo bal yajel so wol koronto ta ye yelo min dialo man kala yelo wol fanan sila te nata sama birkama loptano so problem woni nata wala nyama
so ni saying atolla foundation or left wala fonya say
antola foundation on be min keka right now bayri banjul loptan blood bank itolum ta sanyum fono da woda ntolum e contact le pour ni do ko okay pour mol kata yelo donate because we have a lot of people many alonko they are ready, they don't like to see what we are posting. You can contact them until we are ready to give the blood but blood bank ko firijo man betea pour itolo be yelo mabole dami you understand and we understand them because binta ninya boy to firijo fanka itala file firijo me bulo fanga so ntol laftala ngana own blood bank yele ngana own firijo sa ngamoto sa mi yalon ko because mo do fana biye ni kono yema pour ka paso fon so to katal l'hôpital ta ko le bulle number 2 lafta ngana own clinic so to mi yalon ko ni l'hôpital ayda be kala nyin bafuro lati any other hospital ni be do ko kala musu kono malu kata je la life etra safe ka make so ko dindim fulal be ko yalon dindin kiline be kono yallon ni kono yema ibitala wolto straight because ni be complication so to la ni dindin ma la ko ni scani kalon
bridge
but because of the book at all of time they don't know and we want them to go to somewhere which they are comfortable to go because there is a certain hospital musol ka ko ani tambito bundale ki jolo ke farafenta no sol ka do no mi like kanji
okay so number bi jela ba mol se calling kalam min ni lafta blood donate la comme ni mol min be la moy kan dunia be la moy kan ni mo if somebody is willing to give blood amanka koy be bat la fo muso taral lebo ite ni lafta doro yeta ye ngani yo soto yeta ye yellow donate number bi jela ba wo number reading
number bi jela abena Facebook page to la num bebe update la jela andu isa de ka like or some GambianWomensLifeMatter.com Facebook page. Abijela so momo lefta mi womina andu momo lefta because binta farang ngalo no man time jama soto but intolo kala time wol kala because this is very interesting topic. Binta na dinno doli bije fango ni bali fate boko dondo ko soto be min dunda. Menna man sakunda danila. This is not about politics. alal hakilo tu because atol fane dimbaya le soto atol mini ba nyim pala sol mu doli bi yela 24 years they are not there right now. You understand? Ali sembo min soto alto sembo soto lo soma ali mira ali en audio lamoy ali en ko investigate ngam min fo photo nya lomba nyin dindin sabol wulute man doni ko fanga soto fo mo le go phone mbatata nyin dindin kala social media to it's not okay. Social media buka tutu. You understand? Ala try ali ala responsibility ta. Ali nyin dindin wala don ko provide mol min bal fata andu mo sol min fata each individual ali la ko investigate hada madingol la meeting ko hana madingol ma to ti nyami ntolo ngo don so nga press conference kele nga message kile ali ya moy victims wala anisa ntolo ma to moy so sa Gambia no la tuta to le bulo kono ntolo man ta kuma fala moy inyanta min kel wala tuta to le bulo kono alba kino tabila nyami
nim Minister of Health be Jibeka right now. I know they ben Jibeka no omo ben Jibekan de ibe mu message le fala nyim blood bank fridge man soto blood yellow man soto ma bori musoli je asene anda ma right now.
Why moto nyima libe soto la kurango nyanta fala state house la manyana fala Banjul hospital.
Okay.
Firjo nyanta provide nyimu banko e malo ti Gambia e malolo munyinti. So ala try kodol mini be dunkan na banko kan ali aduni na healthcare center because hana badungo near wrong people employ roads la site la sila do ko wala fisiate wrong people because ntan ajela ko mo ron dingol de malbe wala pitano hada badungo mi ike da yele ka fo moy ko ibe siri laran ke ka fay ko ntena tin iya yelo jibe to doctor ka fay ko ite yelo ke mama na yelo fe nduna man na febe fala ndun tala hajiti mo tirente tamanya no kela mo bala fasito o manya tar lo filo kono do kula and the person is still there and ali amo victim wala family alu wala ko investigate alu wala yalla do ko ke ntolle ngato sindi people right ntolle tamu bankoti nyim banko Gambia di wala tam
mbali be mina fala keli mini yalon ko ila musol kono bela nyanta diam leyelde because na moy news to kedo le balanta ka yelo di ala musola
ni ajon ko disappointing ke la kula new women's life mata mol min kan to contacti be mu solit adun kele la musol ka feke dungol tibulo kon so muna tinna keli fon man lo yello ye gurko ke la fantol kan ya foko ni mun tol bel tate ya tol fon tante nyinti why are they relaxing about this? Okay. This is nimu Gambia be la problem wolti bare ke entanga min ko si Gambia ke la koto ni ko musol de ta mu dimbaati musol ta ma fonti mobe ka relasa kula andu woma nyana kel alalla mind falling ali atral ayala musola wulu wato long ali atral nin ko do balla musola ali a mexico ala blood group number mu jamalati ali mo nyini min na di same blood group so na sulata emergency ite yo mari ci kaya sambolo bitano to you will save your wife life.
Okay, musol fanang ni be konoma yala mini ka wakili katanos ika iron medication yalo no dola anemic tale already but ika iron pill sol dilal dolu ni amin ake batandile konoma yato ibe wakili ndila no nyadile pour min satin na niyo
Gambia yaji ngodo mor jamal so binta they are very good.
Okay.
Ma wala long
jambo
nyin tulo wala bula nyin plasas ni mi yaji tanti nyin plasas sol nyin green sol they are very good. But ninko very good amanke ko ba do malale si ko ila yellow is okay murun doctor kan ya fa ko nyimmin dinna mami ngani na mi yellow jibe ban fona iron so la be nyadi doctor la ba fo no le because ni ba ko mo fale sa seren ni ka place do mo andunga musu do fana nyamin ya lo ko do mo ro fanga fole bulle buka so please contact Gambian Women's Life Matter. We are here for that.
Okay.
Anindem bali na ta domoro kela bari ba mi solite domoro ke kono ifa because ibe dami inyanta domoro kela dai say ma ko dula jema ikumo sembendi jele ya mix so because ngalo no situation all my easy re binta binta doli bije iko ikela le nin konko ibuko domoro fonso te be min domola ndun to nyalo Gambia be situation o min to bi ni ta fo blood bank firiol to na molto domoro kela that's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's sad country.
So mbe min kala doron be Gambia no bulala be la moy kan mbe bulala dunna line auto akata nyaawnya isen tol fana nin momo e fenko sotoje iko ngatalla page auto min kata
Gambian Women's Life Matter Facebook page here.
Okay, telephone number bijela bay hakilo e min man samin safeno saimba pour Gambia.
Fengo baby yera but inside your telephone number do you know sign
okay
me I don't call more left and donate like anything fengo ning 002 220 kuma to molle ben call kan hold on nani
Uh-huh.
yele molle be yele la dala ko boy binya
Uh-huh.
yo 220
Uh,
is 392
392.
1499 392 1499. So
It,
you can reach to this person kasafati at a responsible to na fengol be na tenting. Sometimes people ntol kami formule wala nyinti ko ani ba baka so likila dukar ne de na ni fengo ye jolon dinga tombon duma yaki women's life mata to yal
okay.
man ta kele fenten kama bo nyina kama ni mi mulu to loptano to ni man don ko sto don ko duye
Okay.
because sale kan na moli jele nyi wato ko ne ni mu de na nol be na tala don ka te ba last time pa modu bo jamba fala ya baraka bake because atata loptano to lobiri nga kol
Ha.
ay ñim mari ta e ko do diala amurun ta haddin wala don ko ci kaya dia yala ñimun to lamma sakunda e malola tin inta mo mo den to malula pour ñin sifa tara ke kan internet ot
Bare next Sunday fanam be kala mutandila le mbela fila le ka call kenan as long as nyim mum bela miro din na suloleti.
aha
So any
andungal fendungal je yala baraka
yes.
bake ha
So iko kasafati le be Gambia
ha
3921499.
yes
Okay.
3921499 bintanga dindin jamala fanan soto min yalon ko
Uh-huh.
ila mol lafta pour ke di but we are looking for a beautiful home for them
Okay.
ni yalon ko ipare tala because nga fulan dingol soto la mi yalon ko saba ila mol ye nyina fako on tolta nyunu samba no la nali ya mo kendol ye nali se di la so but abe women's life matal bul we will do a background check. We want to make sure that they have a comfortable home instead of them
Adoption.
going to SOS. That SOS
SOS.
will be the last decision for us to take.
Okay.
Because ngale no ko musa jama bije ibe dindin yino la so ri alon ko sobe
Mm-hmm.
ibe dindin yino la you can contact me and sa jibe nim family li bakele nyame because nga dindin dan tan so right now nyina alhamdulillah binta Tuesday to Tuesday we lost 14 young women in Gambia.
Allahu Akbar.
5 of them have twins. It's very sad. Yeah,
Mm.
it's very sad.
Okay.
Allah baraka bake mini be wala moy rola binta a baraka bake for reaching out to me because nyimu fene tibi yalon ko ninga bondin so namo kon yalon so manda fanka fe ko molle be yele nyino right
Uh-huh.
now
Mm-hmm.
modo fana be yele nyino la
Mm-hmm.
nin tol na molle yelo nyini fo jandi ba bolo loptano ton tol no stress or na katara nyora because kalon ne juma min ba ko ma bala ala baraka bake yam
Okay. Thank you.
baraka bake
Sambe line o yele la moli yele
thank
am.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Mr. Njie, you are mute.
Now, man.
Okay. This is Mbalin Cham, Gambia Women's Life Matter. Women are just losing their life because of lack of blood, negligent, as she mentioned, wrong blood type. Blood bank have to be very careful. You cannot just type wrong blood and just give it to another human being. So we're gonna keep you here for another 30 minutes. Let me open the line for our viewers. The number is 678-390-0539. Mr. Njie, what you have to say about that?
Well, I think it's nothing new.
Okay.
And mind you, once again, I have to be fair with this administration. This is something that's been happening in Gambia for a long, long time.
Okay.
And it's not only about our systems being ill-equipped, but we have people who are not motivated to serve. You have nurses who are just lazy. You have people in the hospital. When a woman is in pain, they're telling you, when you were having sex with your man, it was fun. Why are you crying now? So, insensitive to the plight of these people. So there needs to be education. There needs to be sensitization. We need to put a priority on women and women's issues, not only childbirth, but generally issues surrounding women.
Okay. We have a caller on the line. Caller?
Yes, hello.
Your name, please. You can speak local language if you want to. Badu? Is that Badu?
Yes, exactly. It's Badu, yes.
Badu, you can speak in Wolof if you want to.
How nothing in definite.
Jamarek, you are welcome.
So program is very interesting. I Nyang Njie.
Okay. Thank you.
Wow, so I like the way he analyzed and problem in Gambia bidal come num ko de briefly num ko de analyze is very very Gambians dañ ko war di déglu nak dëgg for real, Okay, affaire yi jigéen yi okay, comme nu ko njang ñay waxee rek loolu yàgg na si biir Gambia bi
Okay.
Gambia loolu yàgg na jigéen ñi yàgg na ñoo soona biir Gambia
okay
su nekkul jigéen ñi sax Gambian si yëpp dañ soona waaye tam lu ma jaaxal si Gambia mooy Gambia instead of seen demonstration you guys demonstrate seen all these things you guys yëngu ni xam nga this 3 years this blah 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 blah
what say it clearly what demonstrations
comme demonstrations you guys def ni ay 3 years jot na ay comme
5 years jot na
man musuma gis Gambian si jóg def peaceful demonstration pour ñoom seen own health wise education light ndox these are the most important things yoo xamante ni mooy doxal réew so amutee health amuloo education amuloo good water to drink yow what are you fighting for understand nga man loolu laa mënta understand Gambian si daal man dama feel ne dañ bañ seen boppa because all these things loo xamante ni su nekkee ne président bi ak lu korop seen health yéen da ngeen ko war a fight.
So you are saying that yaa ngi wax ne we don't fight for the right reason.
Yes. Okay. Loolu la ñëpp gis because man lu ma gis rek individual person lañ gaay dee xeexal. Kii moo fa war a toog kii moo fa war a toog kii moo fa war a toog understand ba pare ñoom ñi toog taxaw si mbedda bi si naaj bu tànga boobu noonu ak ponda boobu noonu amuñ ndox buñ naan sax
all right
understand nga su gaay ñibbee seen kër yi seen jabar yi ñu ngi biir amuñ health insurance understand nga loolu dafa saat loolu dafa saat man lii daal moo nekk dama dee xelaat why xanaa ñoom duñ dee gis loolu because these are the most important things yoo xamante ni nit yi insurance dafa important Africa ñun government bi concentrate wuñ ci insurance but sa health you have the money private da ngaa gis Gambia léegi private school man suma doom yi nekk Gambia ñëpp private school lañ nekk and then man public school laa nekkoon suma yaay lu ndaw la doon fay but now man suñu ne school fees mu ngi school ak ubbi si sax suma fit baa dee demagum because dama dee why Gambians si mënuñoo fight for these things instead of fighting for politics and stuff like that. Thank you very much.
All right, Jerejef Padu. Okay, thank you. All right. Mr. Njie?
Yes.
Mr. Njie, we'll just pick a few more calls and we'll let you go. We really appreciate it. The discussion, you guys have to share. Please share.
Hello?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Caller?
Alaikum salam.
Bismillah, Todi Mado.
Ahmad Byfos.
Okay, Ahmad, you are welcome. Ibe Binto.
Thank you. Okay, Mbalbe Kontona.
Abarak.
Afo Nyanjaye Mba Kontona,
Okay.
Nyang Mangla nuyu.
Jerejef.
Ala analyze nyameng abe wonyale.
Okay.
Gambia be positionnement sainteng abe balfa bundaldo
Okay.
So namusolu saintenteng ye makoyro nyinin kale Gambia diun bulu Gambia nol be nyanta wulale ngambulo kafunyoma ngansembol kafunyoma ngana ferol kafunyoma ngebondi ibe bata men kono because namansa kunda wolta kila.
Okay.
So saying asita le pro nkaneji be jos musolum in fact ndelle la musol mun ndelle la sistal mun ndelle ba malmu so ndelle nyanta wulla nge bampu nge sembentu ya ngani tandila ko aldamma mantar nyin kole ya kono so ibaje la ko nokita na mansa kunda sine kalma bari mansa kunda la bentel bulu idi amta nyawnyande woli buke dankum because wol nyate Gambiano la kayro la saintenta wol nyabe men wolom nyindi ibe tambila 2021 nyame
Okay.
Yeah, so afu nyanjaye ko ala contribution kumata bagele all the time nka folole anin binto banta bal fanal alka alla discussion ka kumaya bagele so nga mira medial albe menna medial jama bije nyanta wala kala
Thank you.
Yeah, so Allah barka barka.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ahmad. We have another caller. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello.
Todi Madu.
Ntomo Abubakar Jamelete.
Jamme.
Jamme, me call Kekan Hamburg.
Please, we bring in now. Nimi Sanjale Bijambi Nyanjai.
Yeah, Nyanjai, me Sonin Tole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Bijanda, go ahead. Ilakacha Sambana.
Yeah, okay. Me Nyanjai Konton Nabake. Yeah, Jame, because Nyanjai is a patriotic Gambian. Nkala contribution on nkala contribution on nkala feedback because Gambian ole me alonko.
Okay,
Gambian ole me alonko.
Ila Facebook
Gambian ya itandile.
Ila Facebook mimbe koma je kami jibe atala isaje nse fenkano nse mo clearly.
Atala, okay.
Yeah, atala.
Okay, ikamoy da.
Ha nkemo ile sign concentrate na.
Yeah, go menjanja control na bake.
Okay.
Yeah, because alabankudi ya na kanu bakele.
Okay.
Nga soronde okay.
Mbemo ikan.
Ikamoy sai. Yeah, so alabankudi ya nga kanu bake. Ni mu bankudi ngoti ka ketende.
Okay.
Mem manta silola yaitande mentara silola yaitande. Okay, bari mbela fila fanang. Nyanjay nyol itolmo activisol leti me alonko Gambianol lakta pembala Gambia me alonko. They should stand firm kaje ko woldul yenamul kalamutandi because political maturity in the Gambia laktale.
Okay.
Nimman saba fokanko, this is what I did, this is what I did. These are something me alonko obligational and mansa kampra ke banku dingoli.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
But Nita Kobo used as political tool, you know, ikabanku dingola nyanto eka wala sis.
Okay.
So men kumata hadamadi ya kono, wala muko yela right lo ibe banko men kan. Ya lonko nyine mula nyanto ti be tamala nyina na. But say, nin Gambia no nteka men korosi Gambia no to be. Because mbota era men kono, masa kunda men beje science abem puskan wala kono kotek.
Okay.
So it's better na namol sensitize ya lonko. Nyimula nyantol let. Mansa nata janga yenyi itandi. Nyimutela nyantol.
Okay.
Ake amake barila nyantol. I mean dire tale.
Okay. Thank you.
Because inara jela puruka doku. So na health sector fara. Mbedi amula samate. Because nada luring platform auto kaitandi ko community ambulance in Ibinaola Stadler while people are dying in the hospital. What is the use of community ambulancing?
Samate Minister of Health.
Because now you barola platform auto rara loja ko. Say lafta community ambulance in the datla.
Okay.
Ko ambulance also to Melbourne and Turkey, they just want to use them for that.
Okay.
So while thousands of people are dying in the hospital, you guys are not even, you do not even have capable people to look after those people. So ambulance in Kela, what is the use of that ambulance?
Okay. All right.
So Najeko na Njayo Fane Diamun na minister nina mel they are working in the government, private sector, public servants. Let them be out from politics. Yajeko na bankonya na tala nyin silola. But say nintola civil servants only na ministers only na other dignitarian will be. They are just on the platform kaitandiko. It will be mansale support kan ebe silola di kala be nyine keka. While people are dying. So yajeko njanyol ya start that ya try na mul kalamutandi.
Okay, thank you. Mbafala
kalamutandi. Be konton na baka ala baraka.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Hello?
Yeah, I've been hearing people.
Okay, caller, hold on. Mr. Njie. Mr. Njie.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you heard the last caller.
I can hear you.
Yeah, the last caller is saying that
Definitely.
they're pleading your voice.
I understood everything he said.
Okay.
You know,
What do you
it's
say?
unfortunate. Gambia is a hostage.
Okay.
In the sense that the Gambia has been held in the conscience of people who are trying to fight for her against the people who know right and wrong, but choose to be selfish against the interests of us collectively. So my take is the same people that helped Yahya Jammeh are the very people who are helping the president today. So not much has changed in the Gambia we try to build. Not much has changed in the country we all love. But the only thing we can change is to change our attitudes. It's the attitude of the Gambian that is sick, thereby making our nation sick and making our nation weak. If we love country and put country first, there are certain things we will not do against our country. And anyone who gets up to do it against our country becomes a public enemy against the greater good's interest.
Okay, thank you. Caller?
Yes.
Todi Mado? You can speak any language.
Yeah, be kuntana back.
Be
geso kuntana Nyanjai.
Thank you.
Nyanja is there?
Yes.
Yes.
He can't hold in the demand.
Okay. Ngafu Nyanja akira.
Ha, Abidjan.
Yes.
Akela moed.
Okay, afai mba kuntana back, no.
Back on top of the
follow back, no. Ngafu le ala strike talk anala another branch anila mcham jolin kala moile because more mat mi an ko ngafu la Facebook page fanandole because more mat ntia ko krano ma bakale.
Okay.
Yeah, more mun Nyanja ite mi an ko ise to yata ndana nam ga agree wato dol nak because ndana politician wolti but more mat ko fa comme gambe banko amo kanu ni o fe banan karal. Ay banko kanu le banko nin kendol mati ba fla do ko men keep it up, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the work is doing Gambian hanya atar men nama agree inamo ka agree ko.
Thank you.
Abala ka roke kambala banko but la faka apil Nyanja men la faka yeah la faka ni ka kukilla because Nyanja mo mi alon ko ndiaje potential bala mi alon ko Nyanja man ne ka mo mi alon ko just abetar dia mo dam manila.
Okay.
Nyanja ne ka mo mi alon ko abe effort men abake kan Gambia ay na fa sokol but nyantal ndel la fam ngela wala mi diko fo Nyanja 2021 felen dunda ko no for 2021 election no me nyam jay jilalo ko mi 26 na do ko mi ke disemptin abokila 2020 kaje ko baro must go because Nyanja fonko flo ko baro in government wote del person da wala so sai Nyanja ya betiamo menna because nyam vocal tal vocal soro ala mol kala moyle mo jamal bi menalo kala moy so min Nyanja kata mo mi alon ko because Nyanja sanu la tabla in government no ma afana be ko do ko mol men be je opportunity so le yalon bon Nyanja man ko applica fanila Nyanja santa do ko la eteni la min je sanu nyol be because me ga harama ni manya ne kunji la wato da man ko to kunkilin damma ila pan ko nyanda ko leje ifana sanol ni konte OIC do kala be dollar do mala be ko do mala but man so resign da because semne je ke menkele kunu yosi fa je mo mutana ko de so ye bang iko ital to kala.
Okay, so ila question o minti ila question o fanya directly ko 2021 ila fta mineke ay mun katale la fa
fom men Nyanja jela ban kaje ko majela campagne sin kono le kaje ko ape campagne kono le kaje ko afana vocal ka la opposition ko min alon ko kaje ko mel ko baro nyanta tala pour baro eta because in government ni mbeje mo mantel be fo ba man gambe dil febo men Nyanja jela ko 26 na meke the same thing ay okay ko tek ba moli aje ba afa ndelam sri fo jela ba konto na itali banko ka
thank you
ka flow ba kele ka flow.
Thank you very much, caller. I hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
I've heard the caller loud and clear. I want to tell the caller, I am highly political, but I am not partisan.
Okay.
I fight for the cause of the Gambia, and I don't need a party platform to fight that cause.
Okay.
What I want to see, all of us, we wanted Yahya Jammeh out, but we just didn't want to live a life minus killings and arrests. We wanted a Gambia better than that of Yaya Jammeh. And we are
hold
all
on, Paul.
disappointed. We are all disappointed with the president in the manner in which he ran our country. That's why I told you he is a runaway bride. All of us collectively come together, put our money to pay the dowry, which is the bride price. We gave it to him without knowing who he is. And guess what? He disappointed us, he betrayed us, and he even betrayed Gambians yet unborn. Therefore, Nyang Njie will categorically say to you that whatever it takes to bring a decent Gambia, whatever it takes to change the status quo, I am in for it. But I, Nyang Njie, I have a card and I'm going to make my vote to the party of my choice. But Nyang Njie doesn't want to be a partisan Gambian, because Nyang Njie talks to all groups of Gambian, even people who are with Yaya Jammeh. I will fight for them if their rights are stepped or trampled on. Therefore, because of that, Nyang Njie doesn't want to take a political stand, a partisan stand. Sorry, I don't want to take a partisan stand, but my party is the Gambia. And with my fist high, I will fight for this country till the last drop, because this is all I have. Without Gambia, I am nobody. And because of Gambia, I am a somebody. And I owe it to Mother Gambia for what Mother Gambia has done for me and my family to be a privileged Gambian today.
Thank you. Thank you. This. Okay. Caller, hello?
Yeah, hello.
Okay. Todi Madu?
I might not can Tom Aliu later.
Oh, your name is Aliu? Come on in, Aliu. Bismillah.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me, for taking my calls.
Thank you.
Say. And I'm saying Nyang Njie also as well. Thank you for coming. At least his contribution is also what he is doing, and we appreciate it. We love it, and it is good that we have people in our community like him, also those who see their country first, not any other thing but the country first.
Okay.
We really do appreciate what he is doing, and you as well. Your Binto Bantaba also is doing very good job, and you are enlightening people. People are learning many things from this platform as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and to me, my concern or my comment will go most on this woman thing. What Mbali was saying, like ibuka blood sort need
Okay.
or when the tata blood bank blood mengadara karom blood so the mola men yalang ko amankela blood type. Okay, mamme understand. I want me when ni tata ka blood donate di ka $100 jo. Many point understand. It mean ka donation blood donate like 100 jo, or the patient should pay 100. This one when confused. I don't know malang exactly I'm name.
$100 so nyingam rate min sula tayola nimmin nate donate yelola na me sono 100 late min sula tayola ite nyanta 100 or di jola le pro 100 o nyanta jola le jandi be yelo nyin donate la dal.
Wow. Okay.
So well
okay. Yeah. And then again, there are Keol Fanang, to be honest, Gambia Keol, we are not playing our role as well.
Okay.
Definitely. These are our women. We can't go without them.
Okay.
It's not possible.
Okay.
We need each other.
Okay.
We need them as they need us as well.
All right. Thank you, brother.
How could we be in the women will keep on conceiving with from us, and at the same time we neglect them when it's time for giving childbirth? The men should stand with them together and fight. Let the government see. Let the government do what they're supposed to do. The men should stand up. It's high time. We should stand firm, and we make sure that the government put the money into where it should be, or else let the woman stop conceiving for us. This is sad. How could we? For how long should we keep on going like this?
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I understand you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Njie.
Yes.
Thank you for your call, Mr. Njie. I think this is. Callers, I'm sorry, we have to let Mr. Njie go. This is the end of this, so we cannot have enough of him, but we will always go and get him back. Mr. Njie. Ms. Njie, totally. Now, our last question is the Gambia's economy doomed?
The Gambian economy hasn't failed, but the Gambian has failed the Gambian economy.
Okay.
That's a loaded answer. And the reason why I am saying that, what is the economy without us, the people? The people who drive the economy. So the problem of the Gambia is not our economy or the politicians. It's the people who are the problem of the politician and by consequent the economy. Barrow is not Gambia's problem. Gambia's problem are the Gambians who enable Barrow, because Barrow doesn't write a check. Barrow doesn't cash a check. Barrow doesn't go to the bank. Barrow doesn't do anything. Whatever he is having is something that is being done for him by you and me, our fellow Gambia. So changing the Gambia starts with us changing our mindsets. And the mindset, I think it's not about education. I always hear people talk about education. It's about values. The Gambian of today has lost pride, dignity, conscience, and morality. These are the four ills of our society. Our religious leaders are bootlicking the politicians. Our educated Gambians who should teach the blind are allowing the blind to lead them. We, the general public, like the Wolofs will say, futoy mutak. We don't believe in anything. So this country will continue to suffer so long as the Gambian has accepted to live the lowest form of being a human being, and that is servitude. That is behaving like a slave. And that's what we need to change. We are the bosses of the politicians. Without us, there is no politician. We vote them in. That's why when I heard President Barrow said, without him, a lot of people would have been in jail because he brought about change. Mr. President, you forgot you only had one vote. It's the rest of the country that voted for you that made you who you are. And that is a privilege. It's not a right. You know what? He should be grateful to Gambia from nothing to something. Yes, it's the making of God, endorsed by the Gambians, because it was God who put, him in our hearts. I will tell you, Nyang Njie has been a fan of this president, even though he didn't have the credentials to show. But I was a fan and I banked my hopes on him. And those hopes of building a better country are all dashed because he has shown me one thing and one thing alone, that all of us should work for him, and he should work for himself. That's not what we should accept. We need a Gambian who is going to salvage this country to be our leader. We need a Gambian who is going to put all of us first before him. And that's why I am saying the $150,000 is a day that they're giving him as food allowance. He should not wait for a law to say this is too much. His conscience and morality should guide him to say, guys, it's the law, it's the policy, but this is way over and beyond what I need to live. But if you don't know where to say no, honestly, even if he was given 10 million, he will take it and smile. So he is not the problem. We are the problem, and we must change. And change starts with self. And people in the diaspora, you are very critical in the sense that you send money to your family members. You cannot continue to feed and help people who are part and parcel of the destruction of the country we all own collectively. Start educating your family members. Tell them that this status quo is bad for our collective existence as Gambians.
Wow, we cannot have enough of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. We really appreciate you. We are honored to really have this class. It's a class. We call it a class. It's education. Oh my God. Is any of your uncles smart like mine here? No.
Well, it's not about being smart. I always tell people, We need to have a conversation, and the conversation should be around country. One problem I see in this country, and honestly, if we don't stop it, we all lose. There is nothing like the tribe. There is nothing like the class. I'm talking about social status. Because when Nawek goes off, the house of the Wolof will go off, the house of the Fuller and the Mandinka will all go off. If I'm driving on a bad road, the Fuller will drive on the bad road, likewise the Mandinka. So it's nonsensical. And I think that's the first thing we need to rid of in our minds. This, I call it perceived self-superiority. You think you're better off than people. You're not. It means you have a complex. Because any normal human being should not even think that they're better than another human being. That's the height of ignorance.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all we can say. Thank you. We are honored. We are very honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll come back for you, Mr. Njie. We really appreciate you. Binto Bantama appreciate you. Yes.
Anytime. And thank you to the viewers too for listening. And let's do more of this, because like the gentleman said, when am I going to be on a platform? I will always be on a platform, but I don't want to be on a political platform because I want to talk to all Gambians.
Thank you.
I have my political leanings, and I swear to God, I know where I'm going to put my ballot come day of the vote. But I feel like I have a duty to country, and that duty cannot be dispensed politically, but it can be dispensed if I take a national stand to talk to all and sundry instead of just talking to a group of people who believe in a political ideology or interest that I have. That's not the platform I'm looking for.
That's why Binto Bantaba is different. We are Gambia. We are Gambia.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. We appreciate you. Happy New Year's to your family. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Thank you. Oh, boy. What do you guys think? We learned a lot today, and we appreciate everybody. Mr. Njie, Nko, alava Mr. Njie and Kaya ala baraka. Aliye mine learn be. We learn a lot. This is the only way we can learn. Nkamol sambana. You can disagree, agree, but we'll bring people to come to highlight on certain things, their opinions, different opinions. Nko, Allah baraka. Call us, Allah baraka. But I will come back to this one. Mbalin Cham, thank you so much. Ye musol la sulo ke la hajot. Ye la hajo be landia ke musol la hajot. O musol konon tol fong bo la kono. Alama ale nijo ila dimbal be do ko minna. I'm saying Gambia's women's life matter. It's a concern for all of us. For all of us. You married, you're in the Gambia. You should take care of that wife. When they're pregnant, you should take care of them. You should know they're in and out health-wise. Nko, alala musol topato. Alkana song. Alla musoli dum man toro kono. Bawo ite nyala kasi. Atata nosle. Atanos ina manta ainana imanyi nenka. Yaboro diala amami. Iba wakilindilal. Because nte fonde ne nga kono maya kele dindingol bembulle. Woborol. Ninge fa inda kono nka fonole. But nke makalole ka make sure I swallow it. Dan kola bulang nkono kono. Gio is very important musukonoma. Sotuma musukonoma mean kafono dehydration. Ali gio di musol ali sawarin ye gio min. Ntolla jandi man gio mi se gingerel min no se Gatorade min no. So Gambia malo mjisi appetite GC fanya di lebije. Ali wakilindi. Musona ya konota abuka kendea. Yellow ni momo sa donate no lillahi alay ali etali a donate mbalin ko akon nomba fele Gambia ni tabe Gambia kono 390-1499. Nibe Gambia Bantala 220-392-1499. 392-1499. I'll call in ke. Luolung yalong musutang anim fembe lopitano to le solata lol. Please funding care. Alake lillahi ale aliya musukilin safe. Ifananse si no ya foko nga musukilin safe le binga elodi mol. Healthcare system no solumanya doctor olumanya wamu healthcare system nyinet wala nyanta wa regulate la wala mansa kundala do kote. Iko hane fano ibe min fene la rankan amansoto na alibe donation o kela. Please alieta ila page o ila Facebook page Gambia Women's Life Matter. I'll tell a page oto. Ali add. Mbatu nga dole ja safero kena ako. Okay. So ali njibe. Iko dress a child. Gambia. Wafana mu fenka dolet. Please lamin sonko. Please alimbalin contact. I'll tell a page oto. Ali a contact je. Ali donation odi ikode na nolbe wuluring imahane dendi kosoto momo iseme ngome nkeno yake please nalbe container kila kabotu babudu please alde na fendantam fayje samatandingol ali fayje ali donate ye please ngalo no molbe kere na mini alon ko ka boxol kila all the time mbe nyin donation o danela mobe bulu akodile mbang al calling al kodile mbang hanite 10 euro lesoto is very important. Wasiata Gambia $1, $10 are important. So I'm pleading on behalf of our Gambian women. Please, brikama lopitanot aliye mengomen sota ali makwe. No solumansia ikabata. Al se patient family fana. Al kane batu fotingo muso muta. Tilisaba itoko ka sambale. Yeba to fo ita fango ya lonko sai abe dama abe batari na abe batari yana akela sulot ita fango ya lonko sai abe dame kuli ya batandile ninko ikono liema ali suti andilo pitano billahi mbal danila alangan na musol safe all right bi na message bedan na janne alin share New information is very important. I can share. We belong to Gambia and it's one love. We will always be here for you on Sundays. Mba make sure mba linka call I can call nang every so puru mo kutoli mini nata mini mamoy. Mbaling inila dimbayal idingo idimuso we saying thank you. So from there alinga niji nga music la moy dawanding Happy New Year's nko nte kukala na alko mangali misle ala baraka alama ale nali jo alama tamala alama tamo ya wati Gambia mini bije funding kel alba nyasi alama sone yala tamo amanka ko tamo do ne ka mobe harje be tama dulal mini be Gambia wolle fango kuma tamalat bar ni momo do makudo kinobe daoda so alimba falanda oncle ye Nyanjai, thank you brother Nyanjai, thank you mbali fanan konton na mbali tentula wallahi for the masi cutting yes you never know na respect ali respect wayatina lokodiate ko be ko hormone mbunyala ngala appreciate. Thank you Lamin. Lamin Sonko ngela message is very important. Mbalin contact Facebook please. Yes, Dress a Child Gambia, yes, the foundation please ala contact me. All right, thank you ala baraka alanga banku do ko ke blame game wato do bi jam fangol ya kudo le kam fayen kanyo karan. Yes, we can make a whole lot of difference. Mamilla call tano aliyam fanya fasila kote. Allah baraka jamme. Thank you Alin share in my Facebook, YouTube. Alin share, please. Alin share. Marong, thank you all. So Allah baraka. Thank you. Don't we call come now. Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Sumole.
Mbija. Todi mado.
Chatomo Aissatou Leti Sanyang.
Aissatou mbe sole to ilafta contribution ole kelaba.
I left the Indian Kala no Haji Kumala no so na sister they call science thing so I fenne fonye left the Indian Kala wala but ni peta sola watu minesa diam.
Okay, privately. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
thank you. All right, Aissatou, thank you. All right. Mba alimbe bobe bulala tilo tata. Nkoni sita jambu kala fikale bula fang. Ali yamine mir. Allah sister la moya la man fonde. I'll kind of miss next Sunday because I'll malum be Jamal Sambalana. I'll malum be Jamal Sambalana, Ibinala. The brothers are willing, always. Thank you. Steadily. Thank you. Steadily, we need you. Thank you. Thank you. Uncle Vic. Thank you. Allah baraka. Sise, Allah baraka. Conte, Allah baraka. Thank you, Allah baraka. Sunday, do not miss Sunday. Allah baraka. Raji, Allah baraka. Alin share, alin follow. Alkana femis. Educational platform all njanti jam buka nyo groupe. Baran kay karandi role ke jam. Mol la kanay kan karandi jam. Allah system an qualified bara mol kanal. Allah baraka. New Year. Happy New Year. Alamanyina ye wati. Talala alamani wanen kafar kele. Ibenna malaika hinan telfe. Allah baraka. Nyoko ala o mari masatala utumomo kan asamba baba. Allah baraka.